It is trade deadline day in Major League Baseball, and the Dodgers are still in hot pursuit of Juan Soto. The Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson will need a second surgery on his left knee. And have the LA Galaxy solved their offensive problems by looking to Spain? Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is August 2nd, 2022. I want to thank the new subscriber who joined our little confab yesterday. Appreciate every last one of you. If you like the content we've been putting out about LA sports for the last 5 months, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we put out new content, and today we will put out new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means, comments, because we have a ton to talk about. Now, before we look to all the news and notes, we're going to take a look at the scoreboard. You should know the Dodgers maintained their 12-game lead in the NL West. Dodgers 8, Giants 2. Today, meanwhile, the Dodgers will also play the San Francisco Giants again. That game's at 6:45. Tyler Anderson is 11-1. Alex Wood counters for the Giants 7-8. And if you're so inclined to watch WNBA, the Sparks will be in New York. That's at 4 p.m. We will have additional clips regarding the trade deadline today. The trade deadline's at 3 p.m. I will come on air as quickly as I can after to recap the Dodgers and Dodgers rivals to tell you what they did. In addition to that, if the Dodgers land Juan Soto, I will go as quickly as possible before 3 o'clock or not. Now, let's get to the news. The Dodgers have traded relief pitcher Garrett Cleavinger to Tampa Bay for minor league outfielder Germán Tapia. Now, Cleavinger, he was basically what they would used to call a quadruple A pitcher. A pitcher who would bounce between the majors and AAA, not necessarily landing. He's a strikeout guy, but he also walked too many people for the Dodgers' comfort, so now he's going to work on his game over in Tampa. It opens up a spot on the 40-man roster, and I get it. Everybody's thinking, ooh, Soto. But the absolute latest that I have read comes from Ken Rosenthal, the famed baseball columnist. The Dodgers are definitely in. However, every indication appears to be that the asking price from Washington is a little bit too high. It's almost like they're daring the Padres to go make the deal, to be completely frank. Now, maybe the price comes down a little bit, and if so, the Dodgers pounce. That is from Ken Rosenthal, whether you choose to believe it or not. I still have sports writer friends, by the way, who are in the game. One of them is somebody who does cover the Padres on a regular basis, and he basically is of the opinion that San Diego is scared stiffless, using a different word than stiff, that the Dodgers actually upgrade their offer and beat them for Soto. Now, you can take both of those opinions for what they're worth. They're not facts, they're opinions from people who have more skin in the game than I do at this time. The Dodgers, meanwhile, have been linked in two different players. They were linked to Yankees outfielder Joey Gallo. I think that's a little weird in the sense that the Yankees have been trying to get rid of Joey Gallo for quite a while. Meanwhile, you might recall that they were in the running for, the Dodgers were in the running for Oakland starting pitcher Frankie Montas. He is now off the market. He has been sent to the Yankees. The Dodgers have also been linked to right-handed starting pitcher Pablo Lopez of Miami. The reason that matters is Lopez could be under, quote, team control for a couple of more years. So the idea of never having enough starting pitching. Regarding all of these names that you're going to hear bandied about today, why are the Dodgers in so many conversations? The answer is relatively simple, particularly for Soto, because no other minor league system is as deep as the Dodgers, and no minor leaguer in the Dodger system is untouchable. Any one of them could be sent. That's why the Dodgers are in every single conversation. So you're going to hear a lot about them today. Finally, in regards to players who are still pitching or still playing, Dustin May, who hasn't pitched in the majors for a year, he had Tommy John surgery. Dave Roberts says May will need 2 more rehab starts before they consider bringing him back to the Major League club. Now, will he start immediately for the Dodgers? Highly unlikely, but he is on their radar. And now for something completely different. Let's talk about the Rams. Wide receiver Van Jefferson will have surgery on his left knee today. It is considered a minor move. It is the second surgery that he has had on the knee. He had surgery on it the first time just after the Super Bowl. That was considered a minor procedure. At this point, they have no precise idea how long he'll be out. Now, we're not talking years and years, obviously. They're talking more along the lines of maybe he can practice again in a couple of weeks. Maybe he misses week 1. This opens up a lot of possibilities for the Rams and honestly some problems, because each wide receiver who would be, or I should say the first 2 wide receivers are set. It's obviously Cooper Kupp. It's obviously Allen Robinson. Wide receiver number 3. Remember, the Rams run a lot of 1 running back, 1 tight end sets, so you need 3 wide receivers out there. The number 3 wide receiver now is a competition between a couple of second-year players, Ben Skowronek and Tutu Atwell. I've never been able to pronounce Ben's last name correctly. My apologies. Odell Beckham Jr. is not an option in the sense that he will not be ready to play until, say, maybe as far back as November. So what is the problem with those couple of players? Well, glad you asked. One, Skowronek, even though he did play more last year than Atwell, Skowronek drops balls. That's one. But they like him. They like him because he is a very ferocious blocker. And if you recall, one of the reasons that the Rams only run 1 tight end, they bring their wide receivers in close to the line of scrimmage, and the idea is the wide receivers are expected to block. Cooper Kupp is tremendous at it, and they really like the attitude that Skowronek brings. The other options, not particularly all that exciting either. You have Jacob Harris. Jacob Harris is a converted tight end. So they like the frame, they like the athleticism that he brings, but all 3 are unpolished. Skowronek, Atwell, Harris. They are not nearly as polished as Jefferson. The other problem that it brings is, in a sense, the Rams run on pace. What that means is they will run no huddle. If you have to continue to sub in number 3 receivers, does that, in a sense, give a hint to the defense as to the type of play that's being run? Atwell, speed guy. Hey guys, maybe we're running a deep route. Skowronek, ooh, big blocker. Maybe that means that they're running the football with Cam Akers. Do you see the problems that would present? As opposed to Van Jefferson, who is an ideal fit at number 3 because you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. If you're on defense, you don't necessarily know what you're going to get out of them. Sean McVay said that the Rams went light on Matthew Stafford on Monday in terms of throwing. They're saying he felt a little bit of pain. They're saying don't read too much into it, because if it were the regular season, he would continue playing. It's obviously training camp. Why risk anything? Multiple reports say a verbal agreement has been reached between LA Galaxy and FC Barcelona center midfielder Ricky Puig. Now, Puig is one of the crown jewels of the academy system for the famed FC Barca program. Okay, FC Barcelona is one of those elite franchises that you hear from around the world. They're right up there with your Real Madrids. They're right up there with your Manchester Cities, etc. The problem being is that FC Barcelona, they're trying to rebuild themselves on the fly. They've had a couple of financial problems, and they don't, even though Puig was a star pupil, it hasn't translated into La Liga. So they're basically saying, yeah, if you want to find another team, go right ahead. And he appears to have found one. He has made a verbal agreement. yesterday with the Galaxy. The transfer window, however, closes on Thursday, so Puig needs to make that decision and put it to paper very quickly. So a 3-year deal is supposedly in the offering for the 22-year-old, and the question is, at midfield, he is considered an attacking midfielder. So he would play an essential part in trying to upgrade the Galaxy offense. However, who do you replace? The Galaxy tend to run a 4-2-3-1. The three that are right behind Chicharito in the 4-2-3-1 include 2 designated players who have had a lot of trouble scoring. Douglas Costa with 2 goals, and God, he's so bad I forget his name all of a sudden. Kevin Cabral with 1. Do you replace one of those 2? Or do you look to the third midfielder right in the middle? Victor Vasquez is one possibility who could be replaced. Ryan Vellison, we don't necessarily know yet. So the Galaxy have some decisions to make. They absolutely have to upgrade their offense. Do they still trot out Cabral? Do they still trot out Costa? Or do they even consider benching one of those 2 players? Genuine questions that the Galaxy have to approach. Very problematic. Now, for the last few days, I've been talking about prized Trojans recruit, quarterback Malachi Nelson, who is considered the number 2 quarterback, possibly the number 1 in the class of 2023 recruiting class, number 5 player nationally overall. Malachi Nelson committed to USC, but over the last weekend said he was going to take a cute little trip over to Texas A&M. It raises concerns because Texas A&M does not have a quarterback in their class of 2023. So, all for the last couple of days, I've been trying to raise red flags, telling the Trojans and their fans to be on the lookout because this could be a problem. Just because he committed doesn't mean he's on the field. He still plays for Los Alamitos High. I want to counter my own argument and give you the best reason why Malachi Nelson will stay at USC. Nelson didn't necessarily commit to USC as much as he committed to Lincoln Riley. Think about that for a moment. Malachi Nelson originally committed to play for the University of Oklahoma. Why? It's because Lincoln Riley is a quarterback guru. You play under Lincoln Riley, the chances are really good you're going to the NFL and getting a massive contract. Look at Kyler Murray, for example. Look at Baker Mayfield, even though Mayfield is now on his 2nd team. So when Riley went to USC, Malachi Nelson followed. Means he loves Lincoln Riley. Now, what happens if you go to Texas A&M? Do you become, what, at best, Ryan Tannehill? Do you become Johnny Manziel? Do you see what I'm saying? Huge difference in terms of what can actually happen with your career, depending on which school you go to. So it's not a fait accompli that Nelson is leaving SC, but I would still be wary. Pac-12 Commissioner George, love these names. George Kliavkoff said USC and UCLA are already regretting leaving the Pac-12. He said it is a short-term gain that they will continue to regret. You sound like somebody who's like dropping rose petals in a river hoping their ex will come back. Stop it. Sometimes in life you got to take the L. And that is one of them. Chargers linebacker Drew Tranquill did not participate in the team's first workout in pads. He has an undisclosed injury. Now the problem with Tranquill being on the sideline is that they are now very thin at inside linebacker. Recall, Kenneth Murray is also injured. So now you are down to people like Kyle Van Noy, who also plays on the outside, and a free agent, Troy Reeder, who they signed from the Rams. So you want these guys to get their reps. Having multiple linebackers injured is a problem. Catastrophic? No. Problem? Yes. We are getting conflicting reports, by the way, about Chargers running backs. On the one hand, there's draft pick Isaiah Spiller. He's getting rave reviews. Oh my God, he's not only a runner, he's a great receiver. Oh, but on the other hand, the LA Times is reporting that the Chargers' backup running back situation is shaky ground. And by the way, the person who wrote this for the LA Times is somebody who I consider extremely intelligent, Helene Elliott. So the question is, have they solved the problem with Spiller or not? I'm going to throw a monkey in the works as to what Ms. Elliott wrote. I believe, again, I'm not even placating her. She's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. She's really intelligent. But it's the Hockey Hall of Fame, not the College Football Hall of Fame. She needed bylines when the Kings are off the ice. So maybe she just did a random recap looking at the Chargers and said, well, this is how tradition has been. So I'm going to still put my money on Spiller being an effective backup to Austin Eckler, at least for the moment. In addition to that, right guard Zion Johnson is impressing both coaches and teammates. Again, they went to pads yesterday, so that means they could finally legitimately start hitting each other. They went to one-on-one drills. Zion Johnson, the rookie first-round draft pick, was absolutely dominant in pads. Center Corey Linsley said he's really excited to play next to this particular guard because, well, he doesn't have to look out for him as much as he thought he would. Multiple beat writers said that Johnson's technique was surprisingly polished for a rookie, and also that he pancaked defensive tackle Jerry Tillery without much difficulty. So the Chargers may have had a find on offensive line. Russell Westbrook is signed with a new agent, Jeff Schwartz of Excel Sports, and Laker fans collectively yawned. The Athletic beat writer wrote something about the Kings that we're going to have to wait on until tomorrow because it's not necessarily big news, and I've already spent way too much time chatting, especially since you're going to see me later today talking about the boys in blue. So, big day for LA sports. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're trying to build something here for LA. I'm James. Thanks for watching. We'll be back later today. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.